Browns rumors. Kevin Stefanski to bench Joe Flacco for Shedeur Sanders, says national reporter. For a player who has yet to record an NFL snap, Shedeur Sanders is already making headlines in Cleveland, and not solely due to his well-known surname. When the Browns used a day 3 pick on Coach Prime's son during the 2025 NFL Draft, some fans welcomed it as a low-risk pick. But behind the scenes, the buzz grows louder. From locker room rumors to coaching whispers, Shedeur is making his presence known. Even Kevin Stefanski couldn't contain himself, praising the rookie as poised, professional, and laser-focused during mandatory minicamp. That's exceptional praise from a coach who tends to keep it close to the vest. Now, that simmering hype just got thrown into overdrive. After weeks of quiet signals, such as Shedeur getting more plays with the twos and receiving affirmation from veteran receivers, the rookie has officially disrupted camp. His easy temperament and crisp footwork have not gone unnoticed. And on top of that, per NFL insider Diana Rossini, Shedeur may be rising quicker than anticipated, and possibly even passing Joe Flacco on the depth chart. We're going to see a lot of him this summer, Rossini said on the Herd with Colin Cowherd podcast. I don't envision Kevin Stefanski throwing Joe Flacco out there, for preseason game 1 and 2. I don't think he cares. I think he knows what Joe can do. Her remarks come amid the Browns' arrival in camp with one of the league's cloudiest quarterback situations. Deshaun Watson remains the franchise stalwart, but his health and shape have been far from consistent since 2022. Joe Flacco, now 40, provided Cleveland with a needed playoff boost last season, but is not the long-term solution. Meet Shedeur Sanders, youthful and proven, but armed with a pedigree and a blue-collar work ethic that's made waves in Berea. If Stefanski is indeed looking at Sanders getting preseason reps ahead of Flacco, it may be a soft audition for number 2. And with Flacco's contract being team-friendly, dropping him down the depth chart wouldn't ring financial bells. Shedeur, meanwhile, was a 5th-round draft pick. There's absolutely no pressure to get him on the field, but huge potential upside if he impresses. His college tape out of Colorado with Coach Prime demonstrated patience, deep ball touch, and high IQ decision-making. Something Cleveland desperately requires as they prepare for another high-stakes season. The Browns are in a prove-it year. In 2024, Flacco didn't start any games for the Browns. However, in 2023, he ignited a 5-game win streak. Last season, the Browns' journey fell apart in the wild card round. Stefanski retained his position, but the expectations are through the roof. Watson's $230 million fully guaranteed contract is the largest elephant in the room. But now there's a changing dynamic. What if Shedeur Sanders excels in August? Does he become QB2? Might he even get reps in blowouts or injury situations? QB depth chart shuffles. While Rossini's comments sparked debate, she also made one thing clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't pushing for QB1. We know where he stands, she said, pointing to his draft position as evidence that the Browns see him as developmental. That said, he's expected to get significant snaps in preseason, and that's where things could get interesting. If he flashes, fans will clamor. If he flops, Stefanski's caution is validated. But the door is wide open. Let's face it, Flacco is not here to win a Super Bowl. He passed for 1,761 yards and 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 8 games in 2024. That was a stopgap miracle, though, and not a permanent solution. At 40, and with so little mobility and possibility for injury, he's an intelligent insurance policy, not a building block. And with Watson still a giant question mark, he appeared in just 7 games last season, tossing only 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. There's a sense of urgency to add depth. The Browns finished with an average of 228.2 passing yards per game in 2024 and finished mid-pack in offensive DVOA. That won't get it done in the AFC North, where Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and even Russell Wilson are waiting. So, although it is perhaps too early to pencil in Shedeur Sanders as a starter, this preseason might launch his stock higher than anyone could have envisioned. Stefanski has always espoused competition. If Shedeur brings it, Cleveland's quarterback discussion might be a whole lot different in September. The practice fields in Berea buzzed louder than the cicadas that swarmed the trees on a sweltering Ohio afternoon. Players ran drills under a relentless sun, coaches barked, and fans craned their necks beyond fences, hoping to catch a glimpse of a quarterback controversy that had begun to feel more like a football fable than a simple depth chart debate. A national reporter, known for dropping bombs that ripple across the league, had just pushed publish on a story that instantly caught fire. Kevin Stefanski is considering benching Joe Flacco for Shedeur Sanders. It sounded surreal. Flacco, the grizzled veteran who resurrected his career late last season, had become a sort of folk hero in Cleveland. Ice-cold in the pocket, unflappable under pressure, and beloved for finally giving the dog pound something resembling hope. But the story claimed Stefanski had been watching something else simmer quietly. The rise of Shedeur Sanders, a rookie who carried the poise of a 10-year vet and the swagger of a backyard legend. In the locker room that afternoon, the whispers started as a joke. "Yo, Shedeur," muttered wideout Elijah Moore, taping his wrists. "You see Twitter? They got you taking Joe's spot already." Sanders grinned, shaking his head. "Man, I ain't even learned all the checks yet. Y'all better chill." But behind that grin, something lit up in his eyes. A flicker of belief, maybe. Or maybe just the fire every quarterback carries deep down, the voice that whispers, "Why not me?" Across the room, Flacco sat with his tablet, reviewing red zone throws, unbothered on the surface. He had been through the NFL rumor mill long enough to know it chewed up narratives daily and spat them out by Monday. But he also knew Stefanski, quiet and deliberate, didn't like noise without reason. If this rumor had legs, if a national reporter dared put their name to it, maybe Stefanski had indeed been making calls, sending late-night texts, reshuffling plans in the shadow of closed-door meetings. Later, under the glare of cameras at a press conference, Stefanski's poker face was tested. "Coach," a reporter asked, voice crackling with excitement, "there are rumors you're considering a major quarterback change, benching Joe Flacco in favor of Shedeur Sanders. Any truth to that?" Stefanski paused. He always paused. "I love what Joe's done for us," he said carefully. "But every player is evaluated every day. We're in the business of winning. That's all I'll say." The room murmured. It wasn't a denial. The next morning's practice had a different electricity. Shedeur took second-team reps as usual, until Stefanski suddenly called for a rotation. "Sanders, take it with the ones."